On Beyond the Gates, when Vanessa went to the dark side, Andre wouldn't show up on camera. And the Hawthorns came up empty in more ways than one. On Beyond the Gates, Keegan reported in to Bill about his investigation into Andre. Bill took a call from Haley, who lied that she was out at a salon. She was really at Uptown. Keegan was envious of Bill's marriage. Bill said that he and Haley were solid after some rough patches. Moving to meet Randy, Haley was stopped by an Uptown employee who recognized her as the customer who had experienced a medical emergency. Haley shared that she had suffered a miscarriage and wanted to thank Sammy, without whom she might not have survived. Randy and Haley had a discussion about the health scare. In character, for the benefit of anyone who might be listening, Haley placed her purse on Randy's chair once he offered it to her. Dani and Vanessa entered, neither happy to see Haley. Dani recognized the man Haley was in conversation with and listed him as Sammy. Vanessa corrected that his name was Randy, and that she had known him for years. Dani and Vanessa tussled over the man's identity. When Dani recalled how he had been the one to help Haley during her miscarriage, she had to wonder why he would have given a fake name. Vanessa reckoned it had been because he had been on Joey's enemies list at the time and wouldn't want to have been identified. Meanwhile, Haley and Sammy carried on with their ruse, during which Haley retrieved a small paper bag from Randy's seat and placed it in her purse. "Don't turn around," Randy warned Haley, informing her that his best friend's widow was across the room, but Haley thought it would look stranger were she and Sammy not on speaking terms. Randy waved at Vanessa as he left, but Dani still couldn't make sense of things. Haley immediately received a text from Randy, instructing her how to use the poison, which would eventually cause Bill's heart to stop beating. Then, Haley stopped by Dani and Vanessa's table and told the realtor she had a friend who might be looking for a home. Dani asked Haley if Sammy was a friend as well. Haley replied that, given how he'd rushed her to the hospital, she would be glad if he was. After Haley departed, Vanessa figured Haley didn't know what Randy's real name was either, but Dani was doubtful, though she quickly decided not to waste any more brain space on the hapless homewrecker. Dani wanted to know how Vanessa was holding up in the wake of Doug's death. Vanessa said his memorial had helped, but that it had been especially rough looking at security footage of Doug's last moments before he got into his car, particularly because Donald had been unaware of Doug's struggles. Dani correctly assumed that Vanessa enjoyed having Donald around. Vanessa, however, wanted her son to get back to college so he could graduate on time. This prompted Dani to wonder if Vanessa was concerned that Donald would cramp Vanessa's style with Joey. After Vanessa became defensive, Dani gently said she, of all people, understood self-destructive behavior. Vanessa insisted she could handle her own life. "But can you handle him?" Dani asked regarding Joey. Vanessa got up to leave, and Dani noted that Vanessa was unable to be as tough as she usually was because she was in mourning. "Maybe I like it that way," Vanessa spat when Dani joined Nicole in saying that Joey was dangerous. Randy punched in at the casino, with Joey inquiring why Randy had been in communication with Bill's wife. Joey listened as Randy smiled that he and Haley had been hooking up. And as Randy pointed out that Haley wasn't the only Fairmont Crest wife to have a side piece. After Randy waited for a reaction to his knowing statement, Joey advised his employee to be careful. Doug hadn't posed any threat. But Bill was a different story. Vanessa joined Parker and Armstrong, but Randy beat a hasty retreat. Once he was gone, Vanessa placed a sultry kiss on Joey, then asked where Randy had gone off to. Joey reiterated his view that it was best Vanessa not know everything about his business. Vanessa and Joey corroborated their knowledge that there was a connection between Randy and Haley. Then Vanessa announced that there were things in her life that needed changing. She'd liked the power she'd felt when she had gotten Joey to refrain from killing Randy, and she was tired of being treated like she was fragile. Vanessa wanted a bigger role in Joey's affairs and asked him to put her to work. She wanted to be his equal going forward. Pamela was scanning shots of Dani and wondering what they were doing wrong when she took a call from Ridge Forrester, fashion designer from Forrester Creations in Los Angeles, who hoped he hadn't caught Pamela at a bad time. Ridge had heard that Pamela was attempting to relaunch Dani's modeling career and offered his help. Since Dani and Andre's drunken wedding photo had blown up the internet, he suggested that the newlyweds do an extensive campaign specific to the Forrester fragrance line. Pamela loved the idea, but was skeptical since Forrester had never shown an interest in Dani before. Ridge chalked it up to timing and felt that the moment was right to capitalize on the Richardsons' nuptials. Pamela hung up after assuring Ridge that she'd talk to Andre and Dani. Yes, she cheered to herself. Andre was gathering photography equipment together when he got the impression he was being watched from outside. He stepped out to check on his suspicion, but found nothing. Meanwhile, Keegan explained to Bill that he had someone tailing Andre, and that he had discovered that Dani and Andre both had their own residences. Bill didn't think that was terribly unusual and admitted that he was having second thoughts about the investigation. Keegan presented Bill with a file, but the lawyer was unimpressed. The information contained within was nothing he didn't already know. Keegan observed that Andre had stopped allowing himself to be photographed about a year prior. It was up to Bill whether Keegan continued digging or not. Bill conceded that, while he had told everyone he'd had misgivings about Andre's marriage to Dani because of how it would affect his daughters, he really felt Andre was a playboy who was too young for her. Keegan accepted his orders to keep probing Andre. Bill said he liked having power over people like Andre, since one never knew when it would come in handy. Andre welcomed Pamela but was displeased that she wanted to talk about him modeling for Dupree Curtis again. When Dani arrived, Pamela described the package deal offer from Forrester, and the former and about-to-be model was thrilled. Dani remembered that Andre had refused to model and wondered if he'd changed his mind. Andre stayed silent as Pamela impressed upon him that the offer was big time, and that it would make Dani's dream come true. Dani could see that Andre still didn't want to do it. Andre figured that Dani could shoot with anybody, but Pamela was adamant that Ridge had wanted a real-life married couple for his campaign. Countering that he could serve as Dani's photographer, Andre convinced Dani that they would still be able to work together, and Forrester would get Dani in front of the camera. Pamela was violently opposed, fretting that Forrester would go with another couple if they couldn't get the Richardsons. Understanding Pamela's concerns, Dani nearly begged Andre to model alongside her. Haley returned to Bill, explaining away why she didn't have any shopping bags from the salon. Bill produced an updated credit card for Haley and moved to put it in her purse, but found the paper bag with the toxin in it. Haley got it away from Bill and turned up the seduction to distract him. After they had sex, Haley offered Bill a drink, and spiked it with Randy's poison. Naomi got a notification on her laptop that her pregnancy test results were in. She was logging in to find out whether she was expecting when Jacob entered, noticing his wife's glum mood. Jacob had asked for the night off so he could be with Naomi and talk about the fight they'd had about having a baby. Though Naomi had a wall up at first, she eventually labeled herself the unreasonable one. Jacob avowed that Naomi had a right to her feelings and to sorting them out, especially since she wasn't 100% sure she was pregnant. Jacob assured Naomi that they had gotten married because they loved each other. Naomi concurred but was at odds with how she and Jacob were on opposite sides of a complicated situation. The Hawthorns kissed, which led to making love. As they cuddled, Jacob got a request for a report from the station, and he reached for Naomi's laptop so he could get into his cloud files. Before Naomi could stop him, Jacob saw the results of the blood test, which indicated that Naomi wasn't with child. The detective was upset that Naomi hadn't told him about going in to verify her pregnancy. Naomi had to admit that she was happy the results were negative, yet she could see how sad the news had made her husband. Plus, she said, her almost pregnancy had revealed a fundamental difference in what the two of them wanted out of life and their marriage. "I don't know where this leaves us," Naomi bemoaned. "Beyond the Gates airs weekdays on CBS and streams on Paramount+.